The topic for today's discussion is collision of bodies in a straight line. Collision of bodies moving in a straight line. Suppose there are two bodies which are moving in a straight line, right? Now, the two bodies can collide, right, with each other, and there may be three types of collision, right? First, it may be a perfectly elastic collision, perfectly elastic collision. Second, it may be a perfectly inelastic collision. And third, it may be partly elastic collision. I'm going to explain each one. Now, what is a perfectly elastic collision? In perfectly elastic collision, what happens is that the relative velocity of the two colliding bodies after collision equals to their relative velocity before collision. Suppose there are two bodies. Suppose there are two bodies, one body and this is another body. So one body is moving with a velocity, let us say u2, this is mass m1 and let this be mass m2, and suppose this body is moving with a velocity u1 and this body is moving with a velocity u2. Now when will they collide? They will collide when u1 is greater than u2, then only they will collide. When the value of u1 is greater than u2, then only the bodies will collide. And what will happen after collision? What will happen after collision? This body will move with a velocity v2, right? And this body will move with a velocity v1, right? After collision, their velocity. And now here what happens? v2 will be greater than v1, right? v2 will be greater than v1. This happens, right? So this is before collision, this part is before collision, and this part is after collision. This part is after collision. This is mass m1 and this is mass m2. Right. So in perfectly elastic collision, what happens is that the velocity before collision, right, is equal to the relative velocity after collision. So what was the relative velocity before collision? Relative velocity before collision was u1 minus u2, and what is the relative velocity after collision? v2 minus v1, right? So in perfectly elastic collision, what is the condition for a perfectly elastic collision? It says that u1 minus u2 will be equal to v2 minus v1. What happens in a perfectly inelastic collision, right? In a perfectly inelastic collision, let me erase this, then you will understand. In a perfectly inelastic collision, what happens is that the two bodies after collision, they stick to each other and move as one unit. What happens is that this body and this body, they stick together, right? And they both move as a single unit, and they both move as a single unit with a velocity v, and their mass, total mass, becomes m1 plus m2, right? This happens in after the collision, right? This happens after the collision, right? So that their relative velocity after collision becomes zero. Here, the relative velocity after collision is zero. Relative velocity I am writing as RV. Relative velocity becomes equals to zero, right? Relative velocity becomes zero, right? Clear?
How?
How I will come later, but mathematically it says that perfectly inelastic collision, the two bodies, they uh, stick together, right? And they move with a particular velocity. Now the velocity of both the balls, right, is same v. So what is the relative velocity? What is the relative velocity? Zero. That is how. And you want to ask in what type of situations this occurs, right? You want to, Devyati, do you want to know that example of
No,
a perfectly inelastic collision?
how relative velocity?
How relative
How
velocity
relative velocity is zero?
how relative velocity becomes zero? Because suppose if you have two balls and they are moving with the same velocity, they are sticking together and they are moving with the same velocity, what will be their relative velocity? Zero, na? Zero.
Zero.
They're moving
Zero.
with the same velocity. So relative velocity is zero, which means in this case, in perfectly inelastic collision, v2 equals to v1 equals to v, right? The velocity after collision. Understood? Or v1 minus v2 is equal to 0, or v2 minus v1 is equal to 0. Anyway, I am writing the different sign, so both means same. Understood? And for example, if you want to know what is the example, if you have two clay muds, two clay balls, right? Two balls of clay, and they are moving with one ball, clay ball is moving with initial velocity u2, and another clay ball is moving with velocity u1, where u1 is greater than u2. Then after collision, the two clay muds will stick together, the clay balls will stick together to form a single entity or a single system having mass m1 plus m2, and they will move with the same velocity. That is an example if you want to know. Okay. And the third case now, partly inelastic collision. Let me redraw it again. In a partly inelastic collision, what happens is that the relative velocity of separation is smaller than the relative velocity of approach. For third case, partly inelastic collision, let me draw the diagram, then you will understand. So relative velocity of separation is v2 minus v1, right? So if it is a partly elastic collision, then what happens is that the relative velocity of separation, this relative velocity of separation is smaller than the relative velocity of approach, which means v2 minus v1 is smaller than u1 minus u2. Suppose if there is a ball which is moving with 20 meter per second, u1 is 20 meter per second and u2 was 5 meter per second, right? So u1 minus u2 is 15 meter per second, right? And after separation, what happens? That this v2 becomes, 17, and this v1 becomes 8. this v1 becomes 8. So what is the relative velocity of separation? It is 9 meter per second, right? So this is a partly elastic collision. This is a partly elastic collision, right? In the first case, if you see that perfectly elastic collision, what happens is that practically what happens, suppose if you have two balls, right, and one ball is moving with u1 and the other ball is moving with u2, then what happens after the collision? The velocities are exchanged, which means that this ball, the first ball, will give its velocity to the second ball, and the second ball will transfer its velocity to the first ball. See, this happens. U1 becomes V2, U1 becomes V2, and U2 becomes V1. See, the first ball has transferred its velocity to the second ball, and the second ball has transferred its velocity to the first ball. Understood? That was the perfectly elastic collision case. In partly elastic collision, what happens is that instead of complete transfer, it cannot completely transfer its velocity, right? So u1 has transferred a little part of it, right? U1 was 520, it has transferred only 17 of its velocity, 17 apart, 17 by 20 of its velocity to the second ball, and the second ball in turn, which means 5, has been accelerated a little more. It has become 8. Understood? So the velocity of separation is now 9 and the velocity of approach was 15. And according to partly elastic collision, the equation is this: v2 minus v1, that is relative velocity of separation, relative velocity of separation, relative velocity of separation is less than the relative velocity of approach. U1 minus U2 is the relative velocity of approach, right? Now, the most important thing, coefficient of restitution. Coefficient of restitution. Coefficient of restitution. So what is the coefficient of restitution, right? The coefficient of restitution is the ratio of the relative velocity of approach, relative velocity of separation to the relative velocity of approach, right? It is equal to relative velocity of separation by relative velocity of approach. So if you see this, the value of coefficient of restitution, it is mainly expressed as small e. It is equal to relative velocity of approach by relative velocity of relative velocity of separation by relative velocity of approach, and it can be, I think, written as v2 minus v1, right? V2 minus v1 by u1 minus u2, right? Can be written now. Hello.
Sir.
Yes, v2 minus v1 by u1 minus u2. So E is equal to this. So for the first case, right, for a perfectly elastic collision, what was that? That relative velocity of separation was equal to relative velocity of approach, right? So this was equal, v2 minus v1 was equal to u1 minus u2 for perfectly elastic collision. Perfectly elastic collision, right? For perfectly elastic collision, v2 minus v1 was equal to v2 minus v1 was equal to u2 minus u1 minus u2, right? So what will be the coefficient of restitution? So E will be equal to 1. E will be equal to 1, as v2 minus v1 is equal to u1 minus u2. For perfectly inelastic collision, for perfectly inelastic collision, V2 minus V1 was equal to 0. V2 minus V1 was equal to 0, right? If V2 minus V1 is equal to 0, then E is equal to 0. E becomes 0, right? And for perfectly inelastic, partly elastic collision, E has a certain value which is less than 1. E ranges from 0 to 1. E ranges from 0 to 1.